Hello everyone, I'm Alero, Omishore, and welcome to the second episode of the #Learn podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about all things education, obviously, but specifically in-person uni versus online university. And today I'm with the lovely Adeyinka Ojomo, who will be telling us about her experience in online education and in person. So please tell me about yourself.
So hi everyone, my name is Adeyinka Ojomo, and yes, I've had the experience of doing a university degree in person on campus and also doing a postgraduate degree online. So today I'm going to be sharing my experience of the two forms of learning, or two different platforms of learning.
Okay, so let me ask, what's your career? What do you work as?
So I'm a health educator, a menopause coach, a fitness and nutritionist.
Okay, so let's start with in-person uni, which is probably one of the most well-known about ones. So what did you study there?
So my first degree was in biochemistry at a London university. So my experience there was, well, of course, online study was not as popular then, so there's nothing to compare it with then, but having done on campus a degree and doing online, I have got something to compare with. So my experience as an undergraduate at the university was good, and the aspect of it that's not so sweet, but one of the things that you get from uni is the friendship you make and some you're still friends with, and the experience of going to a university, coming from secondary school and then on to doing A-levels in college. It's a big jump from A-levels to university degree. So in person, it's, when I compare it to online, in person, because we're social beings, so I would say I still prefer in person university or degree or whatever course one might want to do, because you have the opportunity to interact with people, unlike the online course where you're interacting via emails, by Zoom, and not even so much by Zoom, but mainly by email. So a lot of your studying, a lot of your researching, a lot of learning is all down to you, really. It builds you up in the way that you're of course, even in face-to-face learning, you're responsible for your learning, but the fact that you get that into social interaction, if you have an issue, you can just knock on your tutor's door, or send a message by email, make an appointment, and you go and see them. So there's that aspect which I like, because when you're talking to someone face to face, you're able to read expression better than when you're doing it online. So that's that particular aspect, the social interaction, I really like that. Just the fact that you also leave your home and you actually journey down to uni, that alone is an experience. I didn't live on campus, but I had friends that lived on campus, so sometimes I crash at their hostel. But so my journey was from my home, where I live with my brother and a cousin. I take the bus, then I take the train. So that took me about an hour or so to get to uni, and I quite enjoyed that time because I could do catch up, read on the way before the lecture.
Good use of time.
Yeah, make good use of time. I could do that, so that was good. And also you meet other people on the trains, sometimes you bump into a friend you haven't seen for a while accidentally, you meet people on the train. Again, that social interaction. I know most of the time everybody's head is buried in the newspaper, and these days everybody's head is buried in a phone. So there's that aspect of it. The only time that it's not so great is when maybe there are like tube strikes, or you're having to walk all the way from the station down to uni. But all in all, they're good experiences, I must say. So You want me to compare that to my online?
I think my next question was, what are some of the cons of going to in-person uni? What's something that kind of like would steer you away from studying in person?
Haven't done the online now. Will be the time involved in traveling. Yes, I made use of that time by studying, by reading, catching up, and sometimes sleeping on there. So I think, especially this now, the time we're living in, most things are online. So it's quicker, I suppose, if that's the right word, to do things, because you're saving on that traveling time to travel from, for me anyway, from home to uni. But if I was on campus again, I suppose time also will be there, because you're having to get yourself ready, pack your books, pack everything that you need, and then make your journey to uni, to your lectures. So that's the one, in quote, disadvantage about that, of comparing that to online study, where I could be in my pajamas.
Yeah, fit in your bed.
In my bed, I'll be attending lectures. So yes, that's one thing I'll say about that. But on the plus, the social interaction is still...
Yeah, you get to meet new people, experience things, all that. Okay, so let's speak about your online uni experience. So, first of all, why did you choose to study online instead of going back to in-person education?
Okay, so this is my postgraduate degree, and I chose online because of the commitment. Now I've got kids I have to look after as well. So studying online was the best decision to make under the circumstances, because I didn't have to leave home. Saying that, there's I had to discipline myself with my time. This is when I study. This is when I have to attend to the children, to be a mother. So so that was my main decision for going to study online. And also where the course I decided to do, where the university I chose was one of the best university for that particular course.
Yeah.
So it just, it's two advantages to study online. So those are two main reasons really why I chose to do my studying online.
And let me just ask, what course did you do online?
Clinical nutrition.
Yeah. So, how long was your postgraduate online degree?
Minimum was, because they broke it down to the master's, then you have the postgraduate diploma, and then you have the PG certificate. So I think that range anything between 12 months to 5 years, depending on how long you want to do it for. So for me, it was about 2 years. So it was, of course, a bit longer than the typical 1 year postgraduate, but because I took some time out as well.
Okay, so about connection, because you're online, you're sitting at your home. How did you find making connections and working with other people in your course? Did you have any group-related projects to get to know each other? How did you meet new people?
Well, we had the start. We all had to create our profile, and then you got to say hello to introduce yourself to other people doing the same course as yourself. So what your name is, where you live, what are your interests. And interestingly, there were 2 people that had similar interests to myself on the course.
That's good.
So I did say, oh, hello, how you doing? We talk, and then some of them say, oh, where do you live? And we have, people, because it's global, isn't it? So we have people
from everywhere.
From everywhere. So there was a lady from Dubai. There was other people from Poland. So different countries, and a few people from Scotland, and myself from England. So so you do meet people from different part of the world. But saying that, because it's I suppose because it's postgraduates as well, people had, and many of the lectures were pre-recorded.
Oh, okay.
So you access them at your own convenience. So we did meet once a week on some of the units to talk as a group. So yes, you get to know some people by their voice, and put the name to that voice, and the face,
Yeah.
like, oh, so this is that person. But I still think the connection you would have made if had we been on campus wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because saying that, I mean, I'm done with the course now. I'm not in touch with any other person apart from my my tutor, the head of the school. So whereas comparing that to my in-person on-campus experience, I'm still in touch with many of my uni friends.
Yeah, lifelong friends.
Yeah. I mean, I even have one of them has been the godmother of one of my daughters.
Oh,
that
wow.
we met. Yeah, we met in uni. So, but doing it online, that connection is not there. Maybe it would be. Maybe we would have had that had it been we had more of the lectures done live.
Yeah.
That might have made a difference. I don't know. It's just it's just a thought. But because all the majority of the people that were on the same course as myself are in employment, like myself, are parents, and all, so there's other commitment to their time. So like I said, it's catch up on the lectures, and then when we do meet for some of the units once in a week, that's when people are able to ask a question. It's never enough time really, because we're there just solely for that particular unit, and the interaction between students to get to know each other is missing. Yeah.
So I want to ask, how many hours per day were you at uni when you were doing it online?
Oh, so I had, like I said, most of the lectures are pre-recorded and they were released, I think, once every... So I was doing like 2 units per semester. So you had, one might have been released on a Monday. So you had that Monday to catch up with it before the Thursday when the other one gets released. So all in all, you could say, if I'm listening at the lecture straight, some of the lectures are about an hour, some are over, some are less.
Okay,
so, but if you're stopping and, rewriting and all of
right,
that, stop, right, you could be there for the next, 2 or 3 hours. And then, of course, you want to go over your notes as well. So, so really, per unit, you could say you're looking at maybe 5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So 10 hours for the 2 units in the week. So it's having to break those.
Yeah, have discipline as well.
Yes, and so that's it.
Compared to on-campus in-person uni, is that more or less time spent per unit?
Oh wow, because that's a long time ago between the two.
Spot.
Yeah, you did. Oh wow. To be honest, I'm not sure. Possibly, and I'm just taking a gamble here. Possibly spend more time online with each with each unit or subject, because it's just you and a recording, and I'm having to ask myself questions so I can understand what's going on, and then I think it takes a little bit longer. Okay. Because it's not in person.
Because it's more self-guiding.
That's right. So that's my thought or my experience about that.
You mentioned not having... Did you have any live lectures or none at all?
We did have, for one of the units I remember, we did have that. So actually for more than one of the units, where we had a set time, it was for about an hour, where you log on and then you can choose to put just like Zoom, you can put your camera on, but so you get the opportunity to ask questions. The lecturers are there, you ask your questions, they answer, and then sometimes they talk you through some of the difficult aspects or some of the aspect of the particular course that needs clarification. So those were the few times or occasions where we had live tutorials.
Okay. So let's start comparing them a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the application process. How did it differ from in-person / online uni? Was it harder, easier? How did you find it?
Wow. Okay, so there's been a a bit of a gap between the
well,
online
yeah.
and the in-person campus studying. I still remember with the campus studying, the application process was a bit long, so it was a bit long.
Oh, just to clarify, you went to school in England?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes. So, but comparing it to the online one, the online one was pretty straightforward, I think, because you're applying right there and then you send it off. They ask you for proof of identification or proof of your former degree. It's on the computer already, so you just process. So it was pretty straightforward. It's a lot more straightforward than the off campus. No. But then again, I don't know how things are now.
So just. Would you say for the online application wasn't as demanding as the in-person? Like, you didn't have to put on any extracurriculars that you had to put?
Well, because it's postgraduate, the application process is a little bit different from the undergraduate study. Yes, you still have to put, your personal statements, why you want to do the course, all of that, what do you have already that you can bring to the course, and that kind of thing. So, but I would say the application process for the online study was definitely
easier.
A little bit easier. Definitely easier. Not a little bit. Definitely easier than the on-campus study application.
Talk about a major part, I think, when people apply to university, the cost.
Right.
Yes. So, how do the costs differ from being on campus versus being online?
Ooh. Being on campus again, because it's undergraduates in comparing that to postgraduates, feel different. But and also when you look at the time, when I did the undergraduate, there's a long time between the undergraduate and the postgraduate. So
inflation.
Exactly, inflation. So, but if I compare that to how much they're paying on campus now, in fact, I think I paid a little bit less than what students are paying now for undergraduate degree for the year.
So you paid less applying to attend online school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, slightly less.
Okay. So your personal opinion, which did you prefer?
Personal opinion or personal preference, my personal opinion is this. I still prefer the on-campus, in-person experience because of the social connection. Yeah. If I have an issue with, I don't understand this particular aspect of what we've been taught, I could ask a fellow colleague. I could, like I said, could knock on the tutor's door and say, can I speak to you? Can you please clarify? Or even in the classroom, you can put your hands up and ask a question.
Quick answer, no waiting.
Exactly. But comparing to online, I have to do that research myself. I have to be sure, this is the right answer, or this is how to put this, this is how to answer this particular question. So for that, I still prefer, for those reasons, I still prefer the in-person on campus. Yeah.
Okay. My next question is support and well-being for students.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I've been researching going to in-person uni, they're very prevalent with their well-being team. How is that for online students? Did you find you were supported, had people checking in on you?
Right. People checking in on you, not so much. There was, I'll say was because I'm finished with that now. We had the pastoral, side of things. So there's always emails bouncing back and forth. If you need someone to talk to, if this is bothering, especially when COVID hit, there was, when COVID came, there was a lot of, that online education. Support there. Yeah. So it's again. Nothing beats in person. I say. Nothing beats the in-person, because if I compare it to my undergraduate, we just knock on the tutor's door, or send an email. You have somebody there. You always had you had your tutor, and you had your tutor that would signpost you to the pastoral, well-being department, or I don't know what they're called these days. But yeah, so that was there. And then, of course, amongst our students, we always have a student representative that you can also go to and speak to. Yes.
Okay. So my next question is skills. What did you take away from, let's start with in-person university. What are some skills you've taken away that have helped you in your career?
Teamwork, because you had some projects you had to do together as a team. So being an excellent team member, contributing and all that. So that's one thing I can say I took away from there. Communication skills as well, because you're talking to people, you're asking questions, you're having presentation, when you're you need to defend your dissertation and other mini projects that we had to do throughout the course. So that was also one skill that was developed in going to education online and in campus. It's just, getting along with other people, really.
Key skill to have.
Yeah, getting along with other people, keep talking, saying is about, the social skill, which is very important. And I think, with the online environment, that is, it's missing. You miss that. So you miss that. So yes, those are some of the skills
It's a good skill to have, to be honest.
Definitely.
Okay, let's move on to online. What are some skills, if any, you got from your education there?
Well, because it's the learning is self-directed, right?
Yeah, so self-learning.
So self-learning.
Honestly, that's a great skill to have. To
yeah, self-learning, and you had to organize my time better, making sure I listen to the lectures before the next lecture. And I mean, there were times I struggled, yes, but I know this is just me and me only with the computer. I had to get it done. So that's definitely a skill that I've developed doing.
So being online has helped you work on your discipline and time management, because you're by yourself and you're like, if I want to graduate, I've got to crack on with it.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so one of the last things for the people listening on today, what are some tips or advice you would give if someone choosing between online versus in-person school?
Okay, choosing between the two. As first thing, I was like, well, we all need that social connection. My preference, as you probably gathered, is
in person.
person. But again, we have the choice of in person or online. So what would I advise? We would say, okay, well, look at your personality. Are you the type of person that don't mind, being alone and
self-teaching yourself?
Yes, if that works for you, then go for the online. And if you're someone that likes, people's company, like that aspect of being able to get an immediate sort of answer to your question and being able to contribute, to team discussion, then in-person campus learning is the way to go.
Yeah.
So I say, personality-wise, decide. You can use that to decide whether you want to go online or income. And also depends on the course you're going for, because you can't be studying medicine and be doing it online.
Yeah.
So you need to be on campus. You need to be able to be physically there to dissect all those, whatever you need to dissect and things like that. Yeah, so that would be my advice.
Okay.
Really.
So when we're finished with the episode, do you have any last words for our listeners?
Well, whatever you choose to do, whether you go on campus or you do it online, do it well. Do it well.
Great
Make
advice.
yourself proud. Yes.
Great advice. Okay, that was the second episode of the #Learn podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it, and you can check out the previous episodes as well. If you want to connect with Adeyinka, check out her social medias at JuicyFit if you want to connect with her more and ask her more questions. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and thank you again so much for listening. Bye.